With the funding cuts that have been announced, both in terms of 16 to 18 and the adult funding cuts for 2010-11, 2011-12 and 12-13, there's a need for colleges to make sure, above everything else, that they understand the key drivers within the funding methodology. It's quite easy for a college to miss funding target significantly, but still protect their allocation moving forward by hitting the key drivers. So understanding for 16 to 18-year-old learners that learner numbers are the key driver within the funding methodology and not necessarily delivering more activity with less learners. With adults, it's about making sure you hit your funding allocation with priority provision, so you protect your allocation insofar as you can moving forward. So in order to achieve that, the thing that's probably most important for FE colleges to do is make sure they have a robust approach to curriculum planning, that they understand the curriculum plan, what they want to do moving forward, and they understand what they've achieved in the past, and using that information, come up with something that allows them to say, with this plan, we're going to achieve our allocation, monitor it throughout the academic year, and if they're missing target, do something to address that shortfall. In order to become more efficient and effective as a college, I think it's important that colleges understand that they need to do the easy things right. So in the first instance, any business would know that the key driver within the services industry are staff. So you would want to know what your staff are doing, how long they're taking to do it, whether they're generating income for you whilst they're doing it. And the same is true within the FE, within the public sector. So what colleges would need to do, and I've called them the golden three, although some debate whether some might be 4 or 3, but essentially they need to understand curriculum efficiency. How efficient are they in terms of delivering those qualifications? If you're paid for 450 hours, why would you, unless there's an exceptional business case, deliver 560 hours? That's the first thing to look at. Attached to curriculum efficiency, which is why I call it part of it, is group size. If you're being paid for delivering an average group of 14, which is what the funding methodology is predicated on, for every group you deliver less than that to, then technically you could be making a loss. So you need to consider those two things together. The other element, number 2 of the golden 3, is staff utilisation. So understanding your teaching staff and what they're doing. So how many hours are they employed for, how many hours are they timetable for, and how many hours they actually registered for, to make sure you get the best out of that resource, because it is an expensive resource. It costs colleges on average about £50 per teaching hour. So they need to look after that resource they need to look after it moving forward. And the third bit of the golden 3, something I didn't cover during the presentation today, was support costs. Making sure that finance, that estates, that everything is streamlined. The last thing you want to do is be passing pieces of paper back and forth to each other, when actually a conversation, a discussion, something electronic could have sufficed, and you can cut a lot of waste out of the sector by making sure those 3 things are maximised. I think in the first instance it's important to recognise the shared services and mergers are very different things. Shared services is about the sector's ability to work either with each other or work with other institutions, be there schools, be there academies, be there HE providers, to actually cut the costs of back office services. So it could be around MIS, could be around finance. Our view is there is so much to go at in the short term through staff utilisation improvement, curriculum efficiency improvement, group size, looking at support costs, that actually shared services, for me, in the short term is a distraction. Rather than waste time trying to come up with a model that works, I would let somebody else come up with a model that works, and I'll be more than happy to copy that model as an FE provider. I think merger does have its place, but it's important that it's done for the right reasons. Quite often colleges get into financial difficulty and think, fantastic, what we need to do to survive this is to merge. Whereas the reality is they need to address the underlying position before they merge. Because the risk now, without financial support that mergers have benefited for in the past in the sector, is that more mergers will fail. And that's why the department, I believe, are reluctant to push through mergers, because the business case just isn't there for making the financial savings in order to save and secure the future of the college. We're often in partnership with Capita, and Capita are going to support us in terms of rolling this out to both their clients and to new clients. Full Performance is a KPI monitoring tool. What it does is it identifies the key measures within an FE institution, and it collects data on a weekly and monthly basis for other measures to allow colleges to understand where they are against targets they've set at the start of the year. And the purpose of the target setting exercise is to say, as an institution, we want to make a 10% saving, 15% saving. We can factor that into the target setting, profile it across the academic year, so that the college can monitor actual real-time performance. So if there is a problem, they can address the issues straight away, as opposed to waiting for the next set of management accounts, the next ILR to be run, the next pack of information to be run. So it's online, interactive, and everybody can see it. It's not a drill down facility in the sense of it identifies the problem, it points the problem out, and it identifies a manager who has to take ownership of that to resolve the issue. So it facilitates a successful management team as opposed to takes away the role of a manager within a college.